I wanted to show you what learning a cue might look like on a timeline. So you've taught the desired behavior, which is reinforced, and the animal is starting to offer it regularly without hesitation. You're starting to see this. This should be the sign telling you as a trainer it's time to add the cue. Don't wait too long. You don't want a gazillion repetitions of behavior this rhythmic without a cue. Okay, so what happens when you add the cue? So the cue is given, there may be a little hesitation, and then the animal does the desired behavior, which is reinforced. What typically will happen very shortly is that the latency is shortened. After all, behavior was occurring rhythmically just before. So once you add the cue, the timeline might look something like this. The behavior is occurring as rhythmically as before, and the cue is inserted in between repetitions. You do this maybe 50 times and generalize a bit if appropriate, changing your position in relation to the animal, changing locations if you can get the behavior. What you want here is for the animal to start being really classically conditioned to that the behavior and reinforcer occurs in the presence of or immediately preceded by the cue. And once you start the discrimination, you need to be very focused. Cued behavior get reinforced. Non-cued behaviors don't get reinforced. But behavior is rhythmical, right? So the animal is doing the behavior, only now sometimes nothing happens. So you'll start to see the animal hesitate. He'll start waiting. And presenting the cue actually reinforces the waiting. If you look closely, you'll see that behavior is no longer as rhythmic. There was a wait here, a small wait, but by presenting the cue after the waiting behavior, it's reinforcing the waiting. So cues are tertiary reinforcers, signaling the availability of reinforcement. And iterating this a few times, and you'll start to see that the waits get longer and longer. And this transition from rhythmic behavior without waiting to actually not doing the behavior until the cue is presented, that is difficult for animals in the beginning. Let's look at just how difficult it may be. Let's go to chicken camp. Back to chicken camp. This is a noisy film, and there are alarm bells going off at the other tables a few times. You can see that this affects this bird too. As a novel trainer, I remember that this was really difficult, and you'll see that there's a lot of multitasking. In the first part of this film, you'll see shaping the animal to perform the desired response, pecking at the black dot. The dot is a target, of course, and the shaping is done from the board and lying to a standing position. And here, behavior is rhythmical. Time to add the cue, a laser light.
Okay.
Turn on the light, reinforce the next correct response with a click and a treat, and turn off the light. If the animal pecked at the light, you turn off the light. And all the while, you're keeping track of the rhythm and choose to turn on the cue in a slightly longer interval. And after a while, the animal started really paying attention to the cue. Some individuals develop superstitious behavior, thinking they just need to do something else, like bobbing the head up and down, rather than just wait.